Good morning. Just thought I'd do a quick one. Uh, Happened to catch some of the Prime Minister's question time here in the UK. So it's basically like a televised um, meeting of Parliament, the House of Commons. So obviously you've got Boris Johnson, the standing Prime Minister, the incumbent Prime Minister, and then you've got, I guess, what you could call the Leader of the Opposition. Well, I suppose he is called the Leader of the Opposition. Keir Starmer. Sir Keir Starmer, which is kind of ironic because obviously Labour was set up to be the party of the working class. And, well, that's completely changed because they basically crap on the working class at every possible opportunity. So, for example, I think it was 2 elections ago, which would have been around 2014, because they've had one or two snap elections since then. The amount of people that voted for Labour that were working class was something like 80%, and now it's down to like 47%. And the amount of working class people voting for Conservatives, purely because I think with a lot of them it's just because they hate everything Labour stand for now, because Labour have completely changed. So the amount has risen with the Conservatives up to something like 68%. Or it might be 58%, but it's considerably higher than Labour now. Sir Keir Starmer, QC, because he was a judge, involved with suppressing, I don't even know if I could say this, but I'll risk it. He was the man involved with suppressing the grooming gangs. He was one of the people that told people not to bother, that it would just cause racial tension, it wasn't for the good of the country, and that these young girls, as young as 9, had put themselves in that position. Anyway, so today, Keir found his voice. And that voice is going to be a massive sort of Marxist, anti-racism. And I use that term in air quotes because I don't know if everybody knows this yet, but anti-racism is kind of this, like America, the movement that we're seeing, this kind of woke movement that has a lot of it is, I guess it kind of stems from postmodernism, and some movements in Germany that we won't go into too much, like the Frankfurt School, critical theory, things like that. Anti-racism was kind of a term coined, which is not exactly as it sounds. Let's just put it that way. Feel free to look into it. And one of the things that, so what Keir Starmer brought forward this morning, which was something to do with what I spoke about on one of our big Gen Y chats, was about the England football match. So we were in the finals against Italy, Euro 2020. We had penalties at the end. The 3 lads that missed were very young. I felt pretty bad for them. And they happened to be, 2 of them happened to be black and one of them was mixed race. And after the match, there was an amount of sort of Twitter abuse, things that I'll probably get banned for, even if I just quote them on here. Although they weren't. I mean, I make it sound like they were worse than they were. A lot of them were just kind of poor taste jokes and stuff that you should probably leave off the internet. But anyway, we found out yesterday that of these, I don't know, something like 1,170 tweets, 96% of them weren't from the UK. So that's interesting. Would have been nice if the papers could have had that on the front page, like they had Britain raising its ugly racist head, like they did the day after the game. But no one will ever know about that. I guess you guys will. And whoever else read the same things that I read. I think it was something like 68% came from India and Pakistan, which is bizarre, because obviously they're quite different. And then a large amount came from Southern Europe. But that's not really the point. An important point, but not the point of the day. The point of today is Keir Starmer and his newfound voice, which is incredibly annoying and grating, kind of like his normal voice. So Keir stood up today to speak to Boris Johnson, like him or hate him. And he said, he said, Mr. Prime Minister, you still haven't said whether or not you will openly stand against people that have been booing the kneeling. And more, he was saying things like, we have huge racist problems here and you won't do anything about it. And it's so frustrating because, racism has been shunned for a long time. It's been not the done thing in polite society for, 50 years? 60, 70 maybe? Probably. And it's been, essentially a crime for, I'd guess, 20 or 30. A chap that follows us from Denmark sent me something that I used to send other people, which, because it's a left-wing peer-reviewed study, before the left kind of went completely insane, and it's from, I think, 2016, and it shows that the UK is like the second least racist country on earth. They would ask questions like, how would you feel if your neighbour was of another ethnicity? How would you feel if your grandchild was born? If your child got with somebody of another ethnicity. And yeah, the UK came in second from it was second best, basically, second least racist. And the countries that were the most racist were Asia, Africa, or rather the areas, Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. So that was interesting. And it's just extremely frustrating because everybody knows it's bad. Most people are not racist. And I don't think you're ever going to get the levels lower, than they are now, which is basically non-existent. I think what people don't understand, and it's quite scary that they might never understand this, is that people can get angry and say things they don't mean. Kids get angry and they tell their parents they hate them. They don't hate them, they're just angry. And they can't control their anger. And they're trying to say something to hurt the other person, to get the anger out. If somebody is portly and they cross the road in front of you on a blind corner, and you come around and you slam on the brakes, they see you. And instead of politely trotting the extra 3 or 4 strides to the curb, they just look at you and then carry on slowly slothing across the road. Most people are going to, even if they don't do it to the person, even if it's just in the safety of their own car behind the wheel, will say something like, you rotund rascal, or worse. And I think when you've got people at a football match, and like I say though, it's the numbers are so much smaller than we were told a few days ago that it almost seems ridiculous even bringing this up, but I will because it's being brought up in the Prime Minister's questions. So you have a few drunken, angry football fans. They've just had the entire tournament politicized. They've had 18 months locked inside. A lot of stress. I imagine many of them, have had ramifications on their families. They were desperately looking forward to something back to the old, give me something normal again. And we have a football tournament. That's a good thing. That'll make people feel normal again. And we have football open up just before the tournament, and they decide it's a brilliant idea to put Black Lives Matter on the back of everybody's jersey and to begin kneeling. Because millionaire footballers kneeling is definitely going to stop working class people hurling racist abuse, or, even if they're not racist themselves, just saying an off-colour insult. Definitely going to work, I'm sure. So today we got to see Keir Starmer find his voice and start ranting at the Prime Minister about that, and basically saying, you won't clearly say whether you're for or against it. And that's kind of true. But everything has nuance, bro. Not many things in life are straight down the middle. And I think what the Prime Minister, well, whatever, I guess he is Prime Minister. What Boris is trying to say to people was, these people are not booing the players. Like, frankly, nobody cares. Like, we're so long past this stuff. No one cares whether you're brown, beige, cream, whatever. They're booing the movement that everybody knows, that they self-confessed is Marxist. Even if a lot of people that support it don't know it's Marxist, well, that's not their fault. So, because a lot of people that support it are ignorant, that means that people that hate Marxism and hate the idea of having the institutions in their country brought down, that means that they shouldn't boo a movement because they know more about it than a lot of the supporters. Of course it doesn't mean that, you freaking pleb. He's such a buffoon, like his silly little voice. And he's just ranting at him over and over again, and Boris is explaining that the fans are booing the movement, not the players. I'm also very disappointed in him that he then decided to bring up the fact that they're working with Facebook, Twitter, Google, YouTube, and all these other things. I can't remember the other ones. To find out who these people are and make sure they're banned from football matches. My question would be, are they going to ban the people in India that did it? Will they care? And are they going to tell us that is the truth? Probably not. So, I would say that, sadly, Keir Starmer's voice is going to be the anti-racist voice. As they always do with us, they're going to bring up an incredibly divisive topic, and instead of being grown-ups about it and being honest and having decent, normal conversations, like, of the small amount of people that did it, how many of those people are actual racists versus how many of those people were just saying crass comments, I think it's very difficult. I just don't think... You're never going to be able to get people to stop saying anything when they're in a fit of rage or whatever. And I think what these people did, and I'm not excusing it, I think it goes beyond saying now that myself and 99% of the world, or at least 99% of the UK, are not racist. I just think that it's a pointless subject. Like, everybody knows the right way to feel about it and the right way to act about it. If you're going to try and stop, because he was talking about stopping hate and stopping racism and stopping hate, how are you going to do that? So we're now seeing that they're going to go through people's text messages and see if anyone sent a joke, like a poorly worded joke, or and he said something which was quite ominous, which was when he said we're going to get these people to help us find them. He said, because we know they can. I didn't know they can. I mean, I kind of assumed maybe, but like, what? So WhatsApp can like find out where people are, and yeah. Anyway, it's all. I guess it all goes with the thing that we've been seeing over the last few years of heading towards a hideous dystopian future. But yeah, bit of a rant, probably incoherent. You probably get what I mean loosely. Thanks for watching. And, thanks to Keir Starmer for educating us in 2021 that racism is bad.
Winston stopped writing.
Oh, I'm back. Sorry, I forgot to say one of the most important points I wanted to say, which is, if you ever speak to anyone about this, especially in the near future, try and explain to them, or just ask them, how many people do you know that are actually racist? How many people do you know that do racist things? And if you don't, because I would say most people don't, I certainly don't, ask them why they're happy to let some rich, jumped up politicians play with their lives. Because that's what they're doing. Do you really think that Keir Starmer gives a flying F about people of colour or working class white people for that matter. I mean, let's be honest, the numbers have come out. Working class white people are at the bottom of the pile in the UK. Nigerian Brits and Indian Brits are at the very top. So, we're not doing very well if we are a racist country. So yeah, ask people, are you happy allowing these people to further their careers by stoking racial tensions that don't exist? And if they really do, ask them to show you. Don't allow them to show you something that the media has told you is racist. Ask them for something that actually is racist. Say to them, oh, what, did you go to the shop and you saw some people hurling abuse at a black dude? Or a brown, or whatever, or a white dude? Although apparently that's not possible. Yeah, because that's what these people are doing. They are using these things to further their careers, and apparently they think that that's okay. Do you? I don't.
Winston stopped writing, partly because he was suffering from cramp. He did not know what had made him pour out this stream of rubbish